studio on this tiny little Greek island. Oh goodness, everyone, all of you, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful community members, people who come and listen to my crazy ramblings. Thank you so much for your beautiful comments. I have replied. Hopefully, I got to everyone. And I just I cannot thank you enough for being here, for the open, beautiful, supportive connection that I don't know. I feel like we are all creating here, and I'm just really I'm just so grateful for that. I truly, truly am. And many of you know, I mean, I've said this before that, I'm up here. I'm on a small Greek island, but I'm not in a village. I'm outside of the village. I'm, up high. I'm kind of feel like the lone hawk who's like sitting up on a mountain, just kind of looking out at everything, kind of getting that kind of viewpoint of my life. And it's oftentimes I'm alone, and I don't say that in a negative, bad way. I actually quite like the the quiet of my life, even with all this stuff that's happening with the fishing boats and everything. So I I I enjoy my loneliness. I really do enjoy it. And people think, "Oh, you poor thing, you're up," and it's like, no, no, I like it. I actually like it. And even if I were in a busy place like Miami or something, and I would be out and all these people around me, and yeah, you can pick up conversations with people in the States very easily, which is lovely. I love that about the Americans. I really do. It's one of my favorite qualities about the American culture. And I don't know enough about Northern European cultures, but I don't think it's quite the same thing. Maybe in Britain we have similarities. I have no idea about Australia because I've never been there, not yet, anyways. Hopefully, this whole fishing boat thing will be put back into place, and then I'll be able to, I don't know, take some trips and like go to Australia. I would love to go. I have a very dear friend there, and I would love to go visit her and just experience the down under, right? And oh, especially I would love to go to New Zealand as well and do some painting there. There's some very good artists in New Zealand that I'm familiar with. Not friends. They don't know me. I don't really know them. But I follow them and enjoy what they do. And yeah, it would be fun to go to some of these fabulous, beautiful places in New Zealand. I'm sure there's fabulous, beautiful places in Australia. I'm just not familiar with them. But anyways, so in response to I want to just say Thoma, right? I don't actually know if that's your name, but you were like painting, do a painting on this, astounding. I love that. The astounding trials from a boat sinking. So I thought I would show you the painting of this is the boat that sank before it sank. and we had pulled it out of the water to mend the hull, because these boards on this boat was built in what, 1940 something, and the wood was still, although there was a lot of rotted wood, but most of it is still working just fine. So this was the boat, and it's such a, I mean, just it's heart-rending, you know. But it had, this boat was I used to carry people. It had a mast here going up, a tall mast, and they had their sails, you know, because there were no engines back then. And it was a sea taxi, basically carrying goods and people from one island to another, or from the island to a mainland somewhere, depending on where it was. And that's how this boat, this particular fishing boat, started out. And so this was some mending that needed to be done, and so he had sanded all of the paint off and got back to the wood, and just pulled that together. This is oh boy, just one of my favorite little paintings, obviously for a lot of reasons, right? So yeah, I don't know. It is available. It is available if anybody is touched by this. Get in touch with me, and we can talk. But I wanted to show you that that I have done that kind of painting as a beautiful, beautiful memoir of that fishing boat. And because the fishing boat was so old, right, it was one of the oldest that was out on the seas here in Greece. One of the oldest fishing boats built, you know, many, many years ago on the island of Samos, which back then especially was a huge fishing boat building island. And yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of history behind that boat, and it's kind of romantic. I hate to say that, but it's kind of romantic that it crashed at the edge, you know, beneath the mountain of Mount Athos, which is a mountain that just juts, you know, it's at the very tip of the peninsula, and it just goes straight down. And it actually, underneath the sea, there's a very, very deep, what would you call it? Like a ridge, an area that goes all the way around the mountain. And in that area, many, many, many ancient and new boats have sunk there. And in fact, many of the ancient Persian boats that came through this area to go down to Athens, to take over Athens, right, where they had that big, huge fight of, how do you say it in English? Oh boy, brain loss on that one. Thermopylae, you know, where they made that movie where the Spartans, you know, held off on this little path, and they killed all these Persians that were trying to get through, and these Spartans, the great Spartan warriors of the time, held them off for a very, very long time. killed, thousands of Persians until they were finally completely wiped out. But it was during that time, right? So there's a history of sunken ships, just down there, and it's kind of, in that sense, romantic that the end of this fishing boat's life, that it sunk down to that same place. I mean, I don't know if it went all the way down to the depths or if it's, partially halfway up, halfway down. Who knows how deep it is? But it is gone. Wow. So this fishing boat painting is just really, really, I'm very connected to it. That was one thing. Let's see. I I will be doing another podcast on the Tiny Studio Big Ideas podcast. It's actually been a while since I have that I have actually sat and talked about something. And Tina, if you're listening, I would love to have a chat. Let's get together and have a chat. And yeah, I think it would be really, really wonderful. I would love to start talking to other artists, other people, anybody who has, and get your experiences of how creativity opened up for you again, or how you acknowledge and use your creativity, and hopefully to get people, maybe more people, to understand that creativity does not belong only to an artist or somebody who is already kind of out in that area, but is deeply embedded in all of us. And I think it's just a matter of uncovering it and kind of understanding that and seeing things from a different perspective. So yeah, so those are some fun things. Let's get that going. And anybody who might be interested in talking about their creative process, I think it would be helpful to anybody that would come across this this channel, to hear how other people get through their own creative blocks, some of the things that that nourish their creativity, their creative space. I think it would be really, really fascinating. And then when you're not able to be in your tiny little studio, wherever that may be, how you continue to stay connected to that immense creative energy, which is always there. It's my belief. It is always there. It never leaves. It's always there. And it's just a matter of how we choose to open up to it. And so yeah, those are all things that are going on in my mind. My one daughter is in Miami. She's already there. She's, has moved back. And my other daughter is moving back also to Miami to progress her life as well. And, the dual element of that is, the letting go of the family. And on the other hand, when I'm alone, I am much more able to put all of this together. So I have this channel that I love to do. And my other channel that is growing and needs also the attention. So I'm I'm looking at it as, there's always two sides, the light side and the dark side, and depending where you're focusing, it's kind of what you're going to see. But it's almost like it's like almost like coming out from underneath where there's just too much going on because yeah, I'm not good at managing my time. it's, I'm not good at it. I'm working on it, and I'm much better than I used to be. But when I have too many things happening, I do kind of lose my grip on the progress of my day. I so part of that is going to be diminishing, meaning that I won't be that whole family mom type thing is kind of ending. And here's the really exciting thing and bittersweet for those of you who have raised kids and know what this is like. You know how when your kids grow up and then they leave, they come, they leave, they come, and the times get perhaps shorter and shorter. Or, as in our case, they came back last March and stayed throughout the entire summer and stayed for fall and until after Christmas. And then my one daughter left, and now my other daughter is leaving. So they've been with us, and it's kind of been, how as a parent, you know from experience, from past experience, not the experience of today with your kids, but because of the past experience, and you know what it means and how it feels when they need you and you're there, and then how that just slowly diminishes, and then they go off into their lives. And you know that, like, this is May, as long as everybody's healthy and we're all fine and, life is going to go on normally. Hopefully that will happen. But you know that it's time, that now they are moving into a very solid inner state of their own lives. And we are attached, families, hopefully are attached to each other. And I think that's, at least in the Greek culture, that's a pretty common thing, and it lasts throughout all the different areas, ages of our lives, right? Here in Greece, we take care of our elderly. We have them close. They are connected to the family. And I know there are many, many other countries that kind of follow the same suit. And I really, really enjoy that. And not to say that in the States, families aren't connected. They are, but there's usually a very, very strong distance. Maybe there'll be connection, probably a little bit less than what's going on here. We may have daily connection of some sort, whether or not they're living with us, whether or not they're in the same area as us. So it's everybody's cultures do play a role in how you go about things like that. It's not just family, it's also the work ethic, it's also your studio practice and how that comes into play and what it means to you. So I guess I was kind of going off on that, but the point is that now my other daughter is leaving, and spending time will be setting herself up in the States for now, and there's a bittersweet feeling of closure. There's a sense of closure this time that's different from any other time, and I just know that they are now pulling forwards, and Nico and I, their parents are just slowly slipping into the background, which is where we're supposed to be, and it's healthy for them. It's also healthy for us. So, but it is a change, and yeah, bittersweet, beautiful and bittersweet. Oh, so those are my thoughts, right? I'm working on getting all of these things together. I've got the day pretty much to myself for now, anyways, and so I can focus better. It's just easier for me to focus and work on, do my thing. So my painting is coming along. I'm really excited about it. And confession, I have not officially continued with the square by square, little, section by section. I've kind of gone in and filled everything out. I did that yesterday when I wasn't in one of my best moods, as you all know. And that was really beautiful and helpful, calmed me, got me in that creative flow, and it was really, really lovely. It was lovely. So I'm glad. You know what I'm really happy about is that this little section area, right, and getting each piece into place, and then the rest of it going back to the way that I normally paint, from large shapes to small, just kind of getting that in. I think especially for animal portraits, that especially the eyes in that area, and the structure of the face, and how it all works, is important to do with this, more specified, more nitpicky, getting everything just right. And then as you move out from that, you're kind of getting more of a flow, bigger brushwork, making it painterly. I'm not out to create a photograph, but I really did want to try this different style, and I have learned a lot from it, and part of it I do enjoy, but it's not like the more fluid and just coming in, and I love doing the large to small. So it was interesting to actually mix them up, and I think it's going to work really well, because I have the eyes and the nose, mouth area pretty specifically in its place, and the rest can be more just more fluid. I think that's how I want to say it, more fluid, and working on how to pull it together to make the painting work. Like in the photo reference down at the bottom there's a board, and which is quite visible, and I'm thinking, do I put that in or not? How would I work the board if I put it in? Definitely it would be very dulled down in my mind so that it doesn't take away. Up on the top area, you can't really see it right now. There's like the back of another sheep in the barn, and it's just barely there, but it's nice because it does kind of move in towards the eye, right? It just as a focus kind of thing. But down at the bottom, I don't need it. It would be an unnecessary piece, and probably at the wrong angle. I don't need something going horizontally across. So maybe I do another um, sheep's back, somewhere around the mouth area, and maybe slanted down so that it's moving up towards the focal area of the eye, if that's all making sense to you guys. So with that, I'm going to get on with my day. Be inspired, be creative, be you. Have a beautiful, beautiful day, and I'll see you all again tomorrow. Bye.